Hi everyone, today we are here with the content that everyone has been waiting for. It's where we're going to compare deepL, which is a translation AI translation tool, with Papago, which is Naver's translation. Naver is a search engine in Korea, with Google Translate. And you guys know Google Translate, so let's get started. So this is deepL. I brought two prompts today that I wrote earlier, and I brought these prompts because they were pretty interesting. So I'm gonna do English to Korean and see. I should have had the one in Korean, but I totally not. So the prompt is this: there are so many men in the world, but there is no perfect man. How many men are over 6 feet tall, good looking, and have a stable job? In reality, it's not easy to find a man like this. At some point, the viewers will have to get married, and they will be worried because they don't have the right qualifications. Marriage shouldn't be done unless you're a really good person, but I want to see them something. Well, I want them to see something other than the external part. Actually, this was vice versa, where I translated I wrote the prompt in Korean and I had it translated in English. But at the time, what was really cool was they actually translated the 6 feet tall. I actually had it at 180 centimeter, and they translated to 6 feet tall. So Korean, 세상에는 수많은 남자가 있지만 완벽한 남자는 없습니다. 키가 6피트가 넘고 잘생기고 안정적인 직업을 가진 남자가 몇이나 될까요? 오. 현실에서 이런 남자를 찾기는 쉽지 않죠. 언젠가는 결혼을 해야 하는데 조건이 맞지 않아서 고민하는 시청자들도 있을 겁니다. 오! Actually, their Korean is so much better than mine. 결혼은 정말 좋은 사람이 아니면 안 하는 게 맞지만 외적인 부분 말고 내면을 봐줬으면 좋겠어요. So the only issue I would have is 6 feet. 진짜 이거는 because Koreans don't say 6 feet. They don't know what feet is. So if they were to convert that into centimeters, they actually did it vice versa, where they converted the Korean 6 feet to 180 centimeters to 6 feet, but not bad. So if I wrote here, actually 키가 180. 180이 넘고 이렇게. Right? They say over 6 feet, 이렇게. Or 6'4". How many men do you know who are 6 feet? 여기 갑자기 살짝 이상해지다. So now we're gonna translate the English one to Korean on Papago. So let's see. 세상의 남자는 정말 많지만 완벽한 남자는 없습니다. Is it same? Actually similar. 6피트가 넘는 키에 잘생기고 안정적인 직업을 가진 남자는 몇 명이나 될까요? 현실적으로 이런 남자를 찾기가 쉽지 않습니다. Is it? 오, 시청자들도 어느 순간 결혼을 해야 할 것이고 마땅한 자격 요건이 없이 고민이 많을 것입니다. 오! 정말 좋은 사람이 아니면 결혼을 해서는 안 되지만 외적인 부분 아닌 다른 것을 봤으면 좋겠습니다. Okay. In the Korean translation for Papago, it feels like an actual Korean saying this. This actually feels like more Korean than deepL. deepL seems like Korean American talking. Papago seems like Korean talking. Cause for example, like in this sentence, 현실적으로 이런 남자를 찾기 쉽지가 않습니다. It was, in reality, it's not easy to find a man like this. They actually said 현실에서 이런 남자를 찾기는 쉽지 않죠. It sounds a little different, right? For those listening. So I think Papago is more business translation, whereas this deepL is more semi-casual. But what Papago has is this feature up here called 높은 말, which is saying using honorifics. I want to kind of lower this. So let's say we're not using honorific because what they have translated made it super business terminology. So without the honorific, it is 세상에는 남자는 정말 많지만 완벽한 남자는 없다. 키가 6피트가 넘고 잘생기고 안정적인 직업을 가진 남자가 몇 명이나 될까? 현실적으로 이런 남자를 찾기가 쉽지 않다. 시청자들도 어느 순간 결혼을 해야 할 것이고 마땅한 자격 요건이 없이 고민이 많을 것이다. 결혼은 정말 좋은 사람이 아니면 안 되는데 외적인 부분이 아닌 다른 것을 봤으면 좋겠다. Actually, I also something that I realized with the Papago translation is that it's directly translated. For example, here I wrote at some point the viewers will have to get married and they will be worried because they don't have the right qualifications. So they did an exact direct translation from English to Korean. Maybe it's the way I wrote it. But here, they flipped it, saying someday they will have to get married, but there will be some viewers who will think because they don't have the right qualifications. So actually, it does switch it. Whether I wrote this in a Korean style English, but that's actually something interesting too. Not bad. The not using the honorific, it sounds more like it sounds more like how it would be written in a book, which is pretty interesting. So finally, let's go Google Translate. Well, I don't know how this will turn. Google Translate is kind of known to have bad translation, but let's go. There are 세상에 남자는 많지만 완벽한 남자는 없습니다. 이거는 뭐 오케이. 키가 6피트가 넘고 잘생기며 안정적인 직업을 갖고 있는 남자가 몇 명이나 될까요? 현실적으로 이런 남자 찾기가 쉽지 않습니다. 시청자들은 어느 순간 결혼을 해야 하는데 자격이 없어 고민을 하게 될 것이다. 정말 좋은 사람이 아니면 결혼을 하면 안 되지만 겉모습이 아닌 다른 겉모습을 쓰네 여기서는. 오. So Google definitely does sound like AI. They don't sound like a translator, like an actual physical person translating. So I think this one is so it's not bad. I think Google Translate isn't as bad as I expected. They use phrases that there are different vocabs that you could be using that Google Translate either don't know of or, so they use like 겉모습, which also works as external part, but the word that I wrote in Korean at first was 외적 or 외면. I actually said 외면, but they say that one. And this also does, Google Translate also does the same thing where they flipped, I don't know, yeah, with Papago, where they don't flip about talking about the qualification first. So yeah, the first set isn't that bad. Google Translate isn't bad, but it does feel like an AI. Seems like deepL Google is more generic and the other one is more fine-tuned towards Korean language. Yeah. I definitely think so. So let's try one more. Let's try one more phrase that I got. This is very casual. It's just me talking to a friend. And I didn't really talk like this, but it was a random thing that came to my mind. So the English prompt is, so the other day I was talking to this girl and she really wanted this guy to have the best body. Oh, we don't really use the word best body, right? The guy wanted this guy to have what do people say? To have the hottest, the sexiest body in the world. Okay. And I was like, what the heck? You are not that hot. You have an A cup for your boob size. I can't believe that's what you're expecting. Can you look for something better? She got mad at me. So we stopped being friends since then. Is kind of the prompt that I made. Don't judge me, guys. I didn't really say this. So there are some people that I want to say. So so the Korean translation for deepL turns to be 얼마 전에 얼마 전 어떤 여자애와 이야기를 나누는데 이 남자가 세상에서 가장 섹시한 몸매를 가졌으면 좋겠다고 하더군요. 그래서 제가 생각했죠. 뭐야, 당신은 그렇게 섹시하지 않잖아요. 가슴 사이즈가 A컵이잖아요. 그런 걸 기대하다니 믿을 수가 없네요. 더 좋은 거 찾아볼래요? 나한테 화를 냈어. 그래서 그 이후로 친구 사이를 그만뒀어요. So this is definitely more casual talk, right? The Korean translation realizes it. So the AI acknowledges that it's casual. So they're using the word yo a lot. But when the translation of she got mad at me, she all of a sudden doesn't even add yo. 나한테 화냈어요 would have been the right translation, but all of a sudden she says 나한테 화냈어. So it does need a little work. It does still feel like AIE when you do like casual translation. Let's go to Papago. 그래서 며칠 전에 제가 이 여자와 이야기를 나누었는데 이 여자는 이 남자가 세상에서 가장 섹시한 몸매를 갖기를 정말 원했습니다. 그리고 저는 도대체 뭐야? 당신은 그렇게 섹시하지 않아요. 당신은 당신의 가슴 사이즈에 맞는 A컵을 가지고 있어. 잠깐만! This is... What the heck? 당신이 기대하는 것이 믿겨지지 않아요. 더 좋은 것을 찾을 수 있나요? 그녀는 저에게 화를 냈어요. 그래서 그 이후로 우리는 친구가 되지 않게 되었어요. 허! Wanted this guy to have makes it sound like you're talking about a specific guy rather than just saying guy with. Yeah, I don't know what I was saying. But anyways, the Papago translation, guys. It's not bad. It's actually not bad, but it does need work. So these two, one of the things that I realized with the translation is any casual talk, it doesn't go that well because they use the word. So in Korea, we don't really use the word 너, but in English, like you, but in English, we use the word you a lot, right? Because you have to say, how are you? Like we're talking to you, right? So usually they take out the word you because they know that it's referencing you because I'm talking to you. But every time I use that word, they use the word 당신. But actually, 당신 is not being used a lot. So it's kind of hard to realize. And a little bit of the slang, for example, what the heck? It's not a slang, but they're not able to translate that. Like, what the heck is translated to 도대체 뭐야? You know. And in terms of this translation of you have a cup for your boob size, deepL did so much better, saying that it's more fluid, like it's more casual, because it says just 가슴 사이즈는 A 컵이잖아요. Unlike this one says 당신은 당신의 가슴 사이즈에 맞는 A 컵을 가지고 있어요. It's like twisting. It just added the fluff words a lot. So actually, casual talk, I think deepL is doing a little bit better. There are a bit that's a little bit rough for deepL, but for casual chat talk, deepL does better. Last is Google. 그래서 얼마 전 한 여자와 이야기를 나누었는데 그녀는 이 남자가 세상에서 가장 섹시한 몸매를 갖기를 진심으로 원했대. Really? So it's translated really as 진심. 그리고 나는 도대체 뭐야? What the heck? 당신은 그렇게 뜨겁지가 않대. Ah, they cannot translate hot. They translated hot as actual hot, like you're hot. So 뜨겁다 means burning, like burning hot. 가슴 사이즈에 맞는 A컵이 있어요. What the heck does that mean? Ah, okay. Even this part is rough. You have a A cup for your boob size. 나는 그것이 당신이 기대하는 것이라고 믿을 수 없습니다. Oh, this is rough too. 더 나은 것을 찾아볼 수 있나요? 그녀는 나에게 화를 냈습니다. 그래서 우리는 그 이후로 친구가 되지 않았습니다. Okay. They cannot do casual talk. Google Translation is definitely just a robot translation. I think this is the best one. 당신은 그렇게 뜨겁지 않대. Means you are not that hot. You know. So Google cannot acknowledge. I think Google does not have any AI system embedded because they cannot identify. This text is a casual text. So when they're using like the word hot, they're not actually referring to like the temperature hot, but it's referring to sexy hot. Unlike Papago and deepL, which was able to recognize that. However, Papago is not good at knowing the American slangs. For example, what the heck becomes 도대체 뭐야? So deepL actually said 뭐야? Like just naturally, like what the heck? 뭐야? They didn't actually add the word 도대체. So, minus like the honorific, the keeping it steady of adding maybe like the yo of 나한테 화냈어요, like in that sense. deepL, whether deepL is recognizing English well or in terms of Korean, they got a better Korean system there. If you want things to be translated casually, for instance, if you're traveling, I would actually use deepL more than Papago or Google Translate. But if you plan to write like a business, I mean, Papago wasn't bad, but definitely the casual, like this type of talking about it, I think deepL is much better. Yeah. I found for using a translator is to translate it and they take the translate, trace it back. Actually, that's a really smart idea. That's smart. Okay, so one last thing because chat wanted me to do is I will translate it into Korean and then use Papago to see if you guys understand what I'm saying. And then I will make my conclusion. I don't have a prompt ready. 기다려봐.
언젠가는 이거를 볼 우리 오빠들에게 하고 싶은 말이 있어요. 그동안 응원도 많이 했고 멀리서나마 지켜보고 있었어. 사랑해!
A phrase in Korean. Let's see how well it translated it in English. 저는 요새 스트레이키즈 필릭스가 너무 마음에 들어요. My English translation of what I wrote. Recently, I fell in love with Stray Kids Felix. 하지만 세븐틴의 원우도 좋고 다양한 남자 아이돌을 좋아해서 큰일이에요 할게. 큰일이에요. But I also love Seventeen's 원우 and other guy idol. So it's a big issue. Someday, my oppas will see this. I want to say something to my oppas who will one day see this. I have watched you from far away and have cheered you on for a while. I love you, oppa. Is my, like Jinri's head translation. Let's read it at deepL one. So I've been really into 17 Kids Felix. Okay, they cannot spell Felix, but I've been really into 17 Feely lately, but I also like one oo from 17. Oh, they must know 17, guys. And I like a lot of different male idols, so it's a big deal. I want to say something to my brothers, 오빠들 그냥 brothers, who will watch this one day. I've been supporting them a lot and watching from afar. I love you, bro. Whoa. Well, not bad. So anyways, I love how this one is bro versus brothers. 오빠들에게를 bro로 했고. So that's nice. And then 요거는 so Papago, though deepL is not recognizing my Felix oppa, which is kind of sad. But I think they actually recognize Wonu from 17. But it may be the way that I wrote it. Trying to test it if they might recognize 17 at all, or 그러네. They cannot recognize Felix from 17, but I think they actually recognize Wonu from 17. But it's more casual. It's definitely more casual. And then Papago. Oh, I really like Felix from Stray Kids these days. But I'm in trouble because I like Wonu from 17. And I like various boy band. I want to say something to my brothers who will watch this someday. I've been rooting for them a lot and watching them from afar. I love you, oppa. Oh, 뭐야, 맞아, 오빠야! 우와! 오! I like Korean to English translation from Papago. I think that's much better. And then last is Google Translate. 야, 이건 될지 모르겠네. I really like Stray Kids Felix these days, but I also like 17's Wonu, and I like various male groups, so it's a big deal. There is something I want to say to my brothers who will see this someday. I've been cheering you on a lot and watching you from afar. I love you, brother. Actually, it's exactly the same as deepL, right? But Papago is different. So, honestly, here's what I think from after using all three and testing some prompts is if you write it in Korean, since Papago is a Korean website, they can understand the Korean much better. However, since deepL and Google Translate are from America, they actually translate from English to Korean much better. So my conclusion for this is if you are writing in mail to like email or anything in your Korean, you have to write it from Korean to English, I would use Papago. But if you need anything from English to Korean, I would use mostly deepL. I would double check it with Papago. And I wouldn't use Google Translate at all. If you want to sound really AI-y, I would use Google Translate, but that's what the conclusion I have in mind for the 3 translation app. But it wasn't bad. I honestly think each app is really cool. They have really cool effects. So that's all. Yeah. Which one did you guys like from all 3? You still trust Papago? Because you guys didn't know the Korean translation, right? But actually, deepL Korean translation, to Korean wasn't really bad. But yeah, I think Papago is up there. I mean, it's been a very it's been a very old app, old website, so I think it's good. So anyways, this was a comparison between deepL, Google Translate, and Papago. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I hope you guys can figure out which one to use, but honestly, don't use Google Translate. Google, you have to work harder, man. What the heck is this? I love you, brother. From another mother? What the heck, man? So, that's all.